Public hearing portion, yes.
Come to order, the Town of Londonderry Zoning Board of Adjustment, February 21, 2024. Welcome, everybody. Before we continue with this evening's meetings, I'd like to go over the meeting procedures. First, the clerk will read the case into the record. The applicant will make their presentation. You'll come up to the front here at the podium, and you will state your name and address for the record. The board addresses the applicant with any questions or comments. Those that are in favor of the request are given the opportunity to address the board. Those opposed or having questions regarding the request are given the opportunity to address the board. The applicant is given the opportunity to rebut any opposition, and the opposition is given the opportunity for rebuttal. The board will then address the applicant with any additional comments or questions. And then at that time, if there are none, the public hearing portion regarding the case is closed, and the board enters into deliberations and votes on the request or continues the case to a future date. We again ask that you come here to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and we ask that all conversations be directed to the board, so you will speak to us if anyone is in favor or opposition. If they have a question, they will address the board. We will then have one voice and we'll answer in that fashion. We ask that you please turn your cell phones either off or to vibrate during the meeting. You may stay for the deliberations and to see the outcome, or you can always go down to the town office tomorrow morning. With that, I'd like to begin by having us introduce ourselves. Nick, would you start, please?
I'm Nick Cardner, Building Inspector and Zoning Administrator.
Kelly Karen, Assistant Town Manager, Director of Economic Development.
Irene Macarelli, full member.
Jackie Bernard, full member.
Suzanne Brunel, full member.
Mitch Feig, full member.
Chris Moore, alternate member.
Bob Robichek, alternate.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to appoint Robert. You will be a full voting member for this evening. The first order of business is to approve the draft minutes from the January 17th, 2024 meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? January 17th, 2024 draft minutes are approved. This evening, do we have any report by the town council liaison? None. Okay. Would you be so nice, Kelly, as to give us the regional impact determination?
Yes, Madam Chair, the cases before you this evening, staff is recommending are not of regional impact.
Do I have a motion for regional impact?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the regional impact determination.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that concludes all of our orders of business. We're now entering into the public hearing of the case. The first case is up.
Right. Case number 0221-2024-1 is a request for a variance from Londonderry zoning section 4.2.1.3 C2 to allow an encroachment of 6 feet into the 15-foot side setback. The parcel is located at 14 Raintree Drive and is located in the agricultural residential AR1 zoning district, tax map 8, lot 3-47. Ashley and Stephen May are owners and applicants.
Would you please approach? And welcome.
Good evening.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Ashley Mayo, and I'm from 14 Raintree Drive.
And I'm Stephen Mayo from 14 Raintree Drive.
And have you ever done this before?
No.
Do you have your application with you?
Yep.
Okay. So you can give us an overview, or you can go into the 5 points of law while you're here, and you can use your application as a reference.
You want to run the 5 points law?
Yeah, so we are requesting a 6-foot encroachment into the side setback. We want to build a attached garage with a great room above it. In the 5 points of law. Do you want to?
Sure, I can do it. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest as it will serve to improve the property. It will not alter the character of the neighborhood as there are many residences that already have additions. 2, it says the spirit of the ordinance is observed. It will not pose a threat to the health, safety, or general welfare, nor will the attached garage change the character of the neighborhood. 3, substantial justice is done. Granting the variance would do substantial justice because the loss to us would be greater than the gain to the general public. 4, the values of the surrounding properties are not diminished. Adding a garage does not diminish property values. The way our property is, it would give our abutting neighbor more privacy than what they have now. A realtor confirmed a few feet would not make the difference. Do you want to do the 5th one?
Yeah, so this would, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of the provision to the property, given the characteristics of our property. So really, this is our only option to go off this side. If we go off the front or the other side, our septic is there. If we go off the back, we have a pool and a deck there. And the proposed use is a reasonable one because a garage and a family room are reasonable.
Okay, thank you. Do the board members have any questions of the applicant?
Well, the only question was, I really couldn't, the PDF is very washed out, and
I
to be
agree.
honest with you, I couldn't really, maybe I'm the only one, I couldn't really read it.
No, I couldn't read it, so please ask the applicant what you have for, because our copy, it's very, very light, and I'm having a hard time actually reading some of the stuff on it. So if you could just answer Rob's concerns.
It's just hard to read your drawing, it's hand-drawn, it's hard to read. And maybe just using the site plan or that photograph, which is a great photograph, can you speak to where it's gonna go exactly? Because I couldn't tell by the drawing, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry about that. So the garage is going to be attached directly to the house on the right-hand side. So where those steps are, we're going to be removing those fully. And the garage will be there pretty much that whole length you can see. The length of the driveway now is what the addition will be. We're not lengthening the driveway.
So according to the rep here, if you can't read it, it's 16 feet across the front and 24 feet.
Thank you.
Thank you, that was my question, I guess.
Do you need to widen the driveway for, no, you
No.
don't even need to widen, because you said lengthen, I'm like.
Sorry, widen.
Yeah, okay.
My apologies.
Any other questions?
Just, again, so the reason you can't go off the other side is your septic is located over there, and then off the back, you said you have a pool
Correct.
and a deck.
Yes. Yeah, and there really wouldn't be a way to get a garage back there anyway to attach it to our current one.
Any other questions? Good. Okay, I'm going to take it out. Is there anyone in favor of the applicant that would like to speak at this time? I'll let the record show that there is no one. Is there any opposition to this applicant's request? Let the record show there is.
Chair, I have a letter here.
Okay, please read that.
All right, to the Town of Londonderry Zoning Board, in this case, I'm writing to you because we can't attend the meeting on February 21st, 2024. We are wondering how this is going to affect our property to allow an encroachment of 6 feet in the 15-foot side setback. What side of the property will the encroachment be on? Just a couple of question marks. We oppose the encroachment. Thank you. Teresa Dodge, 16 Raintree Drive, Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Okay, so do you know which property?
Yes.
Okay, and how will
Yes.
that impact?
So 16 is actually on the opposite side.
Okay.
And we have a letter from the owners of 12 Raintree Drive just stating that they don't oppose it. I don't know if you need a copy of that or.
We definitely do for the record.
Yeah.
And we'll need to read it into the record.
Okay.
So we'll need to take your copy as the
Oh, yeah,
exhibit.
I made a bunch of copies.
Oh, okay, perfect. we'll call that Exhibit A.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So in case number 0221-2024-1, as the owners of 12 Rain Tree Drive, we do not oppose the request for variance, which is outlined in case number 0221-2024-1, signed Robert J. Moran.
Looks like there's two.
Yeah, and Richard.
Oh, sorry, Richard Moran.
And
Thank you.
Richard Moore, okay. You would like to speak, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Are you for or against?
4.
Okay. Please approach and state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. So I'm Stephanie Minville, and I live at 15 Rain Tree. I live across the street. I'm fortunate enough that I actually do have a little bit larger lot, so I have a lot more flexibility. But we're really a close-knit neighborhood. What was once starter homes, because of the real estate market, people have stayed longer, and they've leveraged additions in order to grow their family in this neighborhood. So I would be in favor of it.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have any other questions that the board would like to ask the applicant? The number 5 of the 5 points of law, that's always the hardest. So on my version, I don't have the answer for number 5.
It is there, it's just very, you did
Okay.
a very good job matching fonts in your answer, so we didn't
Yeah, it's hard
actually
to
think you
tell,
made an answer, but, well, she talked about it, was what I had talked about, which was the fact that, they've got the septic on one side and the pool and the deck in the back.
Okay.
There's the part about it being unusable.
And this,
Yeah, I don't know if she answered the A one, honestly,
on the A,
but she did in her comments address it.
so your house is set back really far compared to the others around you in your development who are closer to Rain Tree. You, from the plot plan that I have, it looks like you're really far back. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, we're in line with our neighbors to the left
Yeah,
at 16, but
yeah,
16.
yes,
right.
yeah, 12 is set back.
But everybody
set back.
else is sort of up closer
Yeah,
towards the street, okay. So you really don't have anything back there that's available? Okay.
And with the septic system on the other side, they said that that would prevent them from putting it over.
Yeah, like the whole front, and if you're looking at the house, left side is septic, it's a big hill. which is where
Okay,
our
so that's
septic
your
is.
septic there,
Yeah,
okay,
Yep, septic and leach fields.
okay. Yep, I am looking, yeah, at the house picture off to the left, okay.
I just have one question, again, because the drawings are hard to read. So if you go to the site plan, not that, the Plata survey, it looks like, and I blew it up, it's 23 feet now between the property line and your house, correct?
that's 25.
Or 25?
Yes,
And you're, so 15 foot, so you're looking to, your addition's about 16 feet to that side approximately?
correct.
Okay, again, because I can't read the drawing, so
Yeah.
16 feet, okay. All right.
You wanna hand that down?
I cannot believe how well you matched the font.
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
My husband, he's like, where are the
I thought-
answers? I'm
Yeah,
like,
16
I'm like,
feet right
okay,
here.
wait
Yeah,
a
I can see,
minute.
you can't see it on a
No, I know,
PDF.
that's why I handed it down.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
My math was right, I guess. My math was right, though.
Okay. Any other questions?
Do you know most of the lots, like your lot is, looks like 100 wide and 220 long. Are most of them that way? Like, you do have the neighbor, like, we can't see from the higher picture, but it's sort of the corner comes right after you.
Yes.
How does that, do you know how that goes, or is that like a triangle?
Yeah, the corner lot is more like a triangle.
Just 12.
Yeah, 12 Raintree. Because they're set in front of us almost.
That's why I made a comment that you're out back, everybody's out
Exactly.
front
So the other
of you.
house is 12 that wrote it down.
But those wrote the letter, right?
So you have more front yard than you do backyard.
Yep, a lot more
Okay,
front.
a lot more frontage, okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. We have no further questions. We will now close the public portion of this hearing. Do we want to go right into deliberations? Do we need to talk about anything, or can we?
Ready to go.
I'm ready to go as well.
I'm ready to go.
Good.
Irene? Okay, let's go.
Okay. So granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because?
It would not be, because it doesn't really harm the neighbors or the public.
We asked a lot of questions about the neighborhood. I don't think that it alters the character of the neighborhood.
Yep.
I agree, no altering of the neighborhood.
I agree too.
I agree.
Enough room there.
Do you need a pen?
No,
No?
go on.
Okay.
Mike was insistent. Those are like incredible.
He does like his pencils.
Oh, that's right, you do.
Your job there
I have to learn to write with them.
It's crazy.
This isn't too bad. I'm writing okay.
Yeah, you're good.
The spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because?
Say it would.
Would.
I would agree.
I would
Agree, for the reasons that.
It does not pose a threat to health, safety, and general welfare.
Perfect.
I agree.
I agree with that.
We all in agreement?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, great.
That's crazy.
Granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because?
It would, because the loss to the applicant would be greater than the gain to the general public.
I agree.
I would agree.
Agreed.
For the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties would or would not be diminished.
Would not be adding the garage and the family room above it does not diminish adjacent property values.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree. Okay. Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in an unnecessary hardship because, A, there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of the provision to the property because.
I would say is not.
I would agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
And again, I think
For the reasons.
septic system is located to the left of the property. Pool and deck. are
I
in
think
the
it's
back.
physical limitations on the other two sides of the
They
property.
have physical limitations, they do.
Physical limitation of the pool and the septic. Only one way to go.
So the backyard is a little small. The proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because.
Here it is.
Excuse me.
Is,
Garage,
It is.
garages are reasonable. in the rendering, it's 16 by 24. The applicant doesn't state it on the application, so would we want to put that as a condition? Garage shall not exceed 16 by 24?
You say footprint may not exceed 16 by 24, does that sound reasonable?
You all agree on that?
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion in case 0221-2024-1 to allow a request for a variance from Londonderry zoning section 1213C2 to allow an encroachment of 6 feet into the 15-foot side setback for parcel located at 14 Raintree Drive in the AR1 zoning district, tax map 8, lot 3-47, Ashley and Stephen Mayo, and that the 5 criteria have been met.
Any conditions?
Condition that the garage footprint will not exceed 16 by 24 feet.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Irene. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
In case 0221-2024-1, your variance has been granted.
We're all set.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Okay, back in her file, in my file. Am I ready?
Do you see it?
Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Case number 0221-2024-5 is a request for a variance from Londonderry zoning.
I need a motion to continue the 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the 3 cases?
Yep.
Are we making that motion?
Okay.
For case number 2021-2024-2, request for a variance from LZO section 8.2.8.2 to reestablish a existing non-conforming use of a small machine parts and service use after discontinuance for 1 year. The parcel is located at 347 Rockingham Road in residential zoning district, tax map 17, lot 17, Tebow Corp. of New England owner, and Vinnie Lacosi is the applicant. Case number 2021-24-3, request for an LZO from LZO section 8.2.A.4 to rebuild a parts and service use for damage exceeding 75% of its replacement value. Parcel also located 347 Rockingham Road in the residential R3 zoning district, map 17, lot 17, Tebow Corp. of New England owner, and Vinnie Lacosi, the applicant. And also including case number 2024-4, request for a variance from LZO section 4-1-2 to allow a contractor yard parts and service distribution operation in the R3 zoning district. The parcel is located at 347 Rockingham Road in the residential R3 zoning district, tax map 17, lot 17, Tebow Corp. of New England owner, and Vinnie Lacosi is the applicant, for a continuance to the next meeting,
March 20th.
March 20th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Is that the motion?
I think we have to actually,
A motion.
yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for a continuance.
Continuance, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
You got it. Okay, case 2021-24-2, 2024-3, and 2024-4 are continued until March 20th. Next case.
Case number 0221-2024-5 is a request for a variance from Londonderry zoning section 4213C1 to allow an encroachment of 6 feet into the 40-foot front setback. This parcel is located at 14 Grenier Field Road in the AR-1 zoning district. It's tax map 15, lot 248. Joseph and Alyssa Hoggard, who are the owners and applicants.
Would you please approach? And welcome.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Joseph Hoggard, 14 Grenier Field Road.
And have you done this before?
No,
Okay. Did you bring your application?
I did.
You
Great.
did get to go second tonight, though, so.
See, so yeah, you got to see how it was
The
done.
other one's up there, so I was. Okay. So the reason for the, so I just read off the application initially, correct?
Absolutely.
Reason for the denial, deck will encroach 2 feet into the front setback, and then the stairs will encroach 6 feet into the setback. This is a farmer's porch deck that we'd like to build on the front of our house. So that's why there's 2 measurements, because where the deck will land will be 2 feet, and then the stairs will encroach 6 feet into the setback.
So you have the application there. So you have to go through the 5 points of law. So you can go 1 through 5
Yep.
for us.
The variance will not be contrary to public interest. Let me bring my glasses. The deck build on this property size and overall dimensions do not alter the essential character of the neighborhood or threaten the health, safety, or general welfare of the public. Number 2, the spirit of the ordinance is observed. The deck build size and dimensions will encroach into the 40-foot setback, will not threaten the health, safety, or welfare of the public. Substantial justice is done. This deck will not create an injustice to the general public. 4, the values of surrounding properties are not diminished. The deck build size, design, overall dimensions will not diminish the value of the abutters' properties. Number 5, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance will result in an unnecessary hardship. For purposes of this, do I read all that too? I do, okay, all right.
I know, it's a
For
lot.
purposes of this sub-paragraph, unnecessary hardship means that owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from the other properties in the area, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property, and due to the overall angle of the property line, its distance from the street is substantial. Therefore, the 40-foot setback is compromised. The estimated line is approximately 13 to 15 feet from the road. The proposed use is a reasonable one, replacement of the old porch, gain access to the front of the house. If the criteria in subparagraph A are not established, an unnecessary hardship will be deemed to exist if and only if, owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, the property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. The property is not square to the road, meaning the line itself. The approximate location starts 13 to 15 feet from the road. No plot plan is on file. A survey would be passed, the cost would be cost onto us is for $3,000 to $5,000. The house existing steps may have been in the setback or encroaching.
Thank you. Is there any questions of the applicant?
I'm gonna ask a question just because you heard the other one, and we're gonna be probably asking you this. So,
Yep.
the hardship, tell us about your limitations of the back, which is a swimming pool,
Yeah.
and your side yards.
Yeah,
Just to-
so this is an older aerial view. There's the pool is more behind the house, and it's an interesting question because, so there was an existing front porch, it was concrete, it was falling apart, so we wanted to replace it. And, you know, we wanted to build something nice. It's basically the extension from our front door to the corner of the house. And we have a mudroom entryway, and so we needed to push out this porch a little further so that the two entryways weren't lined up on top of each other. And as I stated, the existing front porch that was there, when we took the measurements, it was landing in that, it was encroaching on the line also.
And what year is your home?
It was built in 72?
Any other questions?
Is your house already in the 40-foot setback at all, or is it just beyond it? Because it is pretty close. Like,
It's pretty close. And that's the thing, without having the survey, it's really, we don't know. And even, so the house is literally square with the road, but when you
Yeah.
see the property line, it comes in on that corner.
You have a very unique, jagged piece here.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's very interesting, is it? Any other
Yeah,
questions?
I couldn't follow over the numbers that you, I mean, we know that you can't get it exact without a plot plan,
Yeah,
but
yep.
how far into the setback? Are you into two setbacks or just one?
Just one.
Just one.
he's just coming closer to the road.
I was just, so we were providing the two
Yeah, he's-
because the deck is gonna be, comes out to 7 feet from the house, so
Okay.
that gives you 2 feet in.
Okay.
Then the steps are gonna land, further out, so that becomes now 7 feet from, into the setback.
But you need the stairs to get to the deck. So,
Have an elevator.
I do have one last question. There was an existing deck there before,
It was,
correct?
it was concrete forms.
So do you,
It wasn't a full deck, it was 5 feet wide. It came out, I don't,
I guess what I'm trying to get at is, the building inspector knows what I'm talking about, did that deck already encroach into the front yard?
I believe
That's
so,
a question,
yes.
not a statement.
Yes,
Okay, so there was already nonconformity to begin with?
yeah.
Okay, thank you, that's what I was trying to get you to say.
Yeah.
so. Thank you.
And you don't
Any
know
other
those things
questions?
until you go to change something.
You go to change something, that's when it rears its ugly head.
Yep.
Any other questions from the board?
Well, I did
Go ahead,
want-
Mitch.
Have you been out there? I don't think it gets too close to the road, like it looked like it was, the distance was, okay. I always worry about sight and
Yeah,
safety.
no.
Okay.
So his property line is quite a ways off the pavement.
That's
Right.
correct.
It's
Right.
confusing looking at it that way. He's quite a ways back. There's
Okay.
no problem there.
Survey from 1972.
Okay. I'd like to take it out to the audience. Anyone in favor of the applicant that would like to speak? Let the record show there is no one, anyone in opposition.
50-year-old survey.
Please come to the podium, please, and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. My name's Neil Smith, 15 Grenier Field Road. Good, a little ways down the street, across the street. I want to make, well, I'm not vehemently opposed, but I have mixed feelings about it. Part of the reason is, back in 2002, the planning board approved a subdivision of map 17, lot 5. That's the Kitty Hawk Landing property. Part of that approval was that they had to provide a 17-foot wide right-of-way taking along Grenier Field Road. Grenier Field Road right now is a 66-foot wide right-of-way. 17 feet off the north side, Kitty Hawk Landing is just beyond the fire station, if you're familiar with this area. So it makes me think that the planning board in their wisdom wanted to have a 100-foot wide right-of-way for Grenier Field Road, 17 feet off the north side, probably future development 17 feet off the south side. So if this addition is allowed, if it intrudes into the setback 6 feet, and there is a future taking, 17 feet, that would put this structure like 17 feet from that proposed edge of right-of-way. Just an FYI. I don't really have a problem with this. I would not like to see it be a two-story addition, a farmer's
It's-
porch, I don't really have a problem with.
So, yeah, you have to direct it to us. So what he's here for is a farmer's porch, that's it.
Right. Okay, as long as that's in the approval if
That's-
granted.
That's why we go through the 5 points of law, so
Right.
that there's no misunderstanding what you're here for,
Okay.
okay?
Can I just
Yes, would you like to,
go to the picture number 7? Oh, Oh, sorry, yeah, the next one down, nope, right there. So, you can't really see it because it's turned to the side, but, so there it is. So that's
Yeah.
it. No second
Okay.
floor, nothing.
No roof?
No roof, nope.
Okay, so it's not really a farmer's porch, it's just a
Oh,
front deck.
my wife calls it a farmer's porch because of the length. She thinks everything that's long is a farmer's porch. I just, she didn't even want me to call it a deck. She's probably watching this.
I hope she is.
I
Yeah,
hope,
it's-
gosh,
it's a-
it's a farmer's porch,
It's a farmer's
okay?
porch for this guy.
Thank
I'm
you,
lost in semantics.
thank you.
All right, that's all I had to say.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. And bring it one last time out to the audience. Anyone in opposition? Let the record show there is no one. Bring it back to the board for any other further questions before we close deliberations?
Well, yes,
Mitch?
Nick, any concern about the issue of right-of-way, or if that's something you consider, not an issue?
No, I mean, you can't make your decision on what might happen in the
Okay,
future.
yeah,
Exactly.
Fair
I
enough.
have no idea.
okay. That's what I figured, but.
I mean, if they had plans and had drawn out and they'd already come to you, that's one thing. But just saying, well, they may do it in the future, well, you can't do that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, that will now close the, this portion, public portion of the hearing. We're gonna go into deliberations. Do we need to hash anything out?
I'm sorry, I did have one more question for the applicant that I literally just thought of.
I will now open it back up. Go ahead.
So, if I'm seeing the plans right, it looks like your front door is set back farther than the door on the left. I'm not sure which one's your front door.
So that's the mudroom.
On the far right is the mudroom.
Yeah, our main entryway is right, that
The
door
main
right there.
entryway is right there. Okay,
Yeah.
so the stairs on the right are set farther towards the house off of the road than the stairs to the front door.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's all connected, right? Like you could walk up the stairs on the right and get to the front door? Is that,
No, so they won't be connected.
they're separate?
Yeah. And it doesn't exist yet, so that,
See the-
that larger doesn't exist, just one on the right exists.
So, okay, so you're not changing the one on the right?
No,
Okay, so
That's
the
the
stairs,
existing,
the
yeah.
stairs on the right are what already exists. The portion between the stairs on the right and the far left side there is what you would be adding.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll now close it back up. Do we need to go into deliberation, or can we go into the 5 points? I'm good?
Go to the 5 points.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because,
I would say would not.
I would agree.
I agree.
Going
For
to
the
alter
reason-
the character of the neighborhood.
Yeah, the porch, the proposed farmer's porch, she's watching, it would not adversely impact the character of the neighborhood. You owe me.
All right, the spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because,
Said it would.
would,
It would.
I agree.
Okay.
No issue with health, safety, or general welfare of the public.
Agree. For those reasons.
agree.
Rob, do you agree?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Perfect.
I nodded my head, yes.
Granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because, I'd say it would.
I agree.
I agree.
I
The
agree.
applicant's loss would be greater than a gain to the public.
Agree.
Agreed.
For the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties would or would not be diminished.
Would not.
I believe it would not.
Would not.
You have a reason?
All the other homes have
Adding a farmer's porch will increase the value.
increased the value.
Very good.
Go with that farmer's porch. Yes, I agree.
Owing to special conditions on the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of the provision to the property because.
I would say is not.
I would agree.
I
agree.
I
I
agree.
agree.
Yeah, and I would say the reason for that is the unique shape of the lot.
I agree.
And I guess the placement of the home.
Very close to the front setback.
Proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because.
Porches are reasonable.
That was unusual.
Even more so stairs to get to the porches.
Yes, also reasonable.
Do we have any comments, restrictions, including any timeframe condition?
I don't have any.
I do not.
No.
Okay, so moved.
Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for a variance on case 0221, 2024-5 to allow a variance from Londonderry zoning section 4213C1 to allow an encroachment of 6 feet into the 40-foot front setback for property at 14 Grenier Field Road in the AR1 district, tax map 15, lot 248, Joseph and Alyssa Haggard.
Do I have,
That the applicant has met the 5 criteria.
thank you, and do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second that.
Thank you, Rob. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
In case number 0221, 2024-5, a request for a variance from Londonderry zoning 2131C1 for property at 14 Grenier Field Road was approved.
Go build your farmer's porch. Keep her happy.
Alrighty.
All right, next thing on the agenda, Kelly, do we have any communications or miscellaneous other business that we need to attend to this evening?
None this evening, Madam Chair.
Wonderful. Do I have a motion to end this meeting?
I'd like to make a motion to end this meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Irene. All those in favor? Aye.
I
Meeting
threw-
adjourned.